Hello, F.M.S. Gator. Today you are studying this module, Caring for Your iPad. This was set up by the district in order for you to keep your iPad, and unfortunately, you have not done a very good job of caring for your iPad. So one of the things that you need to do in order to rectify that problem is to listen to this whole presentation again. So let's begin. Caring for your iPad. Of course, we know that we already received our iPads, but let's talk for a few minutes about how to care for your iPad. Handling things with care. Never throw a book bag that contains an iPad. Never. Never place an iPad in a book bag that contains any of the items below: food, liquids, heavy or sharp objects. Not only do we know that the iPad is fragile, but the liquid screen, the liquid crystal screen, the LCD type of screen that you have under the glass of your iPad, each of the little pieces of it, whenever you rock your iPad back and forth on your gumdrop case and you think that this is funny and that it won't hurt your iPad, it's actually cracking the corners of your iPad screen in the small parts that you cannot see in every little corner. And eventually, might not happen today, the more you rock it, the more you drop it, all of the cracks will slowly come across the top of your screen. And you'll go, "But I didn't even do anything." Unfortunately, you did. You just did it in succession over a long period of time. Rocking and spinning and stopping, dropping it down on the table. Do not put your iPad anywhere but on top of a table or inside the basket under one of the desks. It needs to be on top of everything all the time. We never put it on the floor. Let's review that one more time. Never throw a book bag that contains an iPad. iPads should not be in book bags in the first place. You were told to walk down the hall and hold that iPad like it's a $700 baby, because it is. It's a $700 baby that you do not want to replace. Never place an iPad in a book bag at all, but especially don't put it anywhere near food, liquid, or heavy or sharp objects. And do not rock them on their sides because it's putting little cracks across the screen, something that you will replace. Taking care of your iPad. Avoid placing weight on the iPad. Never throw or slide an iPad. Never expose an iPad to long-term temperature, extremes, or direct sunlight. Don't do this. No way. One more time. Avoid placing weight on the iPad. So do we put our notebook on top of our iPad? No, we do not. Do we put a pencil or pen on top of our iPad? No, we do not. The only item that you should have near your iPad is a stylus or the God-given finger you've been given. Next, never throw or slide an iPad across a table, across a desk, across the floor, especially across the floor. Never expose an iPad to long-term temperature extremes or direct sunlight. Don't put your iPad under a light. Carefully carry your iPad from class to class every day. As we've already told you, it's a $700 baby. Hug it close to your heart. You wouldn't just walk around town and drop your baby down. So don't drop your iPad baby. The iPad case, which we call the gumdrop case. It comes with your iPad. It's a $50 or $60 item. It is not for you to take off. The purpose of this case is to protect the iPad. The iPad must remain in the school-issued protective case at all times. No stickers or any other items should be attached to the iPad itself unless placed there by school staff. Again, The iPad case is there to protect your iPad. It's not for you to pick. It's not for you to rip. It's not for you to pull all of the gumdrop part off and rip the black coating away. The iPad must remain in the school-issued protective case at all times. You should not be taking your iPad out, cleaning the screen, and then putting it all back together. That was done on day one. Your screen was clean on day one. The only part of the screen that should ever be cleaned now is on the outside of the gumdrop case. And you can clean that with just a little Kleenex, just a soft little tissue. No stickers or any other items should be attached to the iPad unless placed there by school staff. iPad battery. The iPad should be charged daily. Fully charged iPad batteries will last 12 to 15 hours of use. It is the student's responsibility to charge the iPad and ensure that it's ready for use in school each day. Failure to do so may result in the student's inability to participate in classroom learning activities. One thing that you need to know about charging your iPad is that when you go to plug it in, make sure that your plug is actually plugged in. Be careful to make sure that the plug is plugged into the charger and that the charger is then plugged into the power strip. And if for some reason you come the next day and you notice that the charge is low, immediately alert the teacher and then double check to make sure that your plug was plugged in properly. The iPad screen. While the iPad is scratch resistant, it is not scratch proof. Avoid using any sharp objects on the iPad. The iPad screen is glass and it is vulnerable to cracking. So while the iPad screen is scratch resistant, it is not scratch proof. Avoid using any sharp objects on the iPad. So should you be cutting paper on top of your iPad screen because it's a nice little place to capture the pieces? Absolutely not. Should you be doing anything other than with a stylus or your human finger? Absolutely not. Not on top of the iPad screen. Cleaning your iPad. Keep liquids away from your iPad. Clean it with a soft, slightly water-dampened, lint-free cloth. Avoid using paper towels. Avoid getting moisture in the openings. Do not use window cleaners, household cleaners, aerosol sprays, solvents, alcohol, or ammonia. One more time. Cleaning the iPad. Keep liquids away from your iPad. Clean it with a soft, slightly water-dampened, lint-free cloth. Avoid using paper towels. Avoid getting moisture in the openings. Do not use window cleaners, household cleaners, aerosol sprays, solvents, alcohol, or ammonia. No sharing iPads. No sharing iPads. You've always been taught to share. Share, share. Well, guess what? Not in this situation. Do not share or lend your iPad or charger to anyone else. You are responsible for your iPad. Do not use anyone else's iPad or attempt to make changes to someone else's iPad. I'm going to say it again. No sharing of iPads. You have always been taught to share. Share, share. Guess what? Not in this situation. Do not share or lend your iPad or charger to anyone else. You are responsible for your iPad. Do not use anyone else's iPad or attempt to make changes to someone else's iPad. Where's my iPad? Make sure you know the location of your iPad at all times. If you leave a classroom for any reason, make sure your iPad is secure with the teacher. Each teacher might have a different procedure for securing iPads in these situations. Do not leave your iPad unattended. It's your job to know where your iPad is at all times. Again, where is my iPad? Make sure you know the location of your iPad at all times. If you leave a classroom for any reason, make sure your iPad is secure. Each teacher might have a different procedure for securing iPads in these situations. Do not leave your iPad unattended. iPad repairs. Even though you're human and amazing and brilliant, please leave your iPad repairs to a professional. Do not disassemble or take apart your iPad to attempt repairs. Let your teacher know if it is not working and follow the proper procedures. Again, iPad repairs. Even though you are amazing and brilliant, please leave your iPad repairs to a professional. Do not disassemble or take apart your iPad to attempt repairs. Let your teacher know if it is not working and follow the proper procedures. iPad apps. This is a big one, and this is why some of you are watching this video. How will you download apps? You should never access the App Store on your school-issue iPad without a teacher approving it, without telling you that you're doing it as a class, and most of that everyone's finished with. Teachers have instructed students to go through downloading apps when they've directed them to do it, but that is not on your own free time. That is not whenever you're doing it all by yourself. That is in a class setting at the time the teacher tells you to, and then it's over. You are not allowed to download school-approved apps only through the HCS apps container. Instructions will be provided when you receive your iPad. We've had those instructions, and we've been told no one goes straight to the App Store. You go to the HCS apps app, and you ask your teacher if it's okay to download it. One more time. You should never access the App Store on your school-issued iPad. And last, iPad files. Always back up your iPad files. You are ultimately responsible for all of your files. You may back up your files to any of the following locations: to your Edmodo backpack, the Google Drive, or Evernote. You might not know how to do all of this yet, but eventually you will. Remember one more time, iPad files. Always back up your iPad files. You are ultimately responsible for all of your files. You may back up your files to any of the following locations: the Edmodo backpack, the Google Drive, or Evernote. Thank you for listening. Let's hope that from here on out you have a better awareness of taking care of your iPad in a proper manner, making sure that you are not putting anything on top of your iPad, that you're sharing it, making sure that you do not put it in an unsafe place, no iPads on the floor, not in a book bag, and you better hold that baby like you don't want to lose it, because the next step is that you will. Thank you for listening.